Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the Graco TurboForce 2 range. Hi, my name's Josh and today we're going to be talking about the latest range of HVLP units from Graco, and here they all are. And I must say, in my opinion, I think they're the best looking and most professional looking HVLP units that I've ever seen. So I'm going to give you a quick run through all of the units and then we'll discuss each of them in more detail. So if you want to look at one model in particular, you can skip to that part of the video. First of all, we're going to talk about these FinishPro 7s, which are available in 110 volt or 240 volt. So there are a few more differences that we will go through. Next, we have the FinishPro 9.5, which is our most popular unit, and again available in both 110 or 240 volt. And lastly, we have the FinishPro 9.5 ProComp, which is basically the same unit as this, but enables you to use a 2-litre remote cup as well. So that's the units in the TurboForce 2 range. And if you just wanted to learn about one model in particular, you can skip to the time shown here. And if you wanted to just get a better understanding of all the units in general, just keep watching. Okay, so first of all, we're going to talk about these two FinishPro 7 units. This is the 110 volt unit and this is the 240 volt unit. They both run off the same 3-stage turbine that produces a maximum air pressure of 7 psi. They also both come with the same 6-metre air hose and also both come with the same Edge 2 gun, which is slightly different to the Edge 2 Plus gun, so it doesn't have the separate fan control on the back. They also both come equipped with a number 3 needle nozzle set, which equates to a 1.3 mil. All the Edge guns use exactly the same air cap, which is this bit on the front here, and it's been designed really well, and I love spraying with it because it quickly snaps into fixed positions. So at the moment we've got it horizontal, and then you can quickly switch to a vertical spray pattern like that, and you can actually switch to going halfway there, which is actually going to give you a spot pattern, which is really useful if you've got something intricate to spray, and it gives you amazing control. Most of what the unit comes with is exactly the same, but there are a couple of key differences. First of all, obviously we've got the voltage, so 110 volt for UK sites and 240 volt for domestic. Next, we've got with the 240 volt unit, we've got the turbine control dial here. So what that allows you to do is adjust the volume and the pressure of the air going to the gun. Now, you don't get that level of control with the 110 volt unit, but if you would like a 110 volt unit for site work, but you need the turbine control as well so you can really dial it in, keep watching the video because the 9.5 might be the unit you're looking for. Okay, so now on to the most popular HVLP unit we supply, which is this FinishPro 9.5. So they're a great unit and really good value for money when you take into account all the extras you're getting with it. So as the name suggests, it comes with a 5-stage turbine that produces 9.5 psi of pressure. So what that allows you to do is spray slightly thicker materials than you can with the FinishPro 7s, or if you wanted to spray the same material at a bit of a faster rate. The 9.5 is also available in both 110 volt or 240 volt, so you can pick whichever unit suits you best or the work you want to do, and both options come with the adjustable turbine control. The 9.5s also come with a few extra bells and whistles over the FinishPro 7s. So they have a slightly longer hose. So the 9.5 comes with a 9-metre hose, whereas the FinishPro 7 comes with a 6-metre hose. And with the 9.5 you also get this super flexible 1.2-metre whip hose. So after a day's spraying, you're definitely going to appreciate that. The 9.5 also comes with 3 needle nozzle sets, so you've got the number 3 in the gun, which is the 1.3, and then in this drawer on the side here you've got number 4 and 5, which is 1.8 and 1.2. So straight away you've got much more flexibility on the types of products you can spray. The 9.5s also come with the Edge 2 Plus gun, which means you get this extra fan control on the back here, which is really useful for dialing in your fan pattern exactly how you want it. But for me, the best feature of the 9.5s is the Smart Start feature. So we've got a rocker switch here, and we can switch it off, which is in the middle, turn it on, which is at the bottom, and then if we go all the way to the top, which is Smart Start, what that allows us to do is basically, if you're not spraying, the unit isn't on. This works because the unit senses airflow, and if it stops because you've released the trigger, the unit will automatically turn itself off after a few seconds. When you're ready to spray again, simply pick up the gun, pull the trigger, and it will all kick back into life. So as you can probably tell, I really like this unit, and I just think it's really well thought out, really well designed, even down to the gun dock here, which allows you to put the gun down when you aren't spraying. So if I was a full-time decorator, I would definitely have this in my van. Now onto this beast. So this is the 9.5 ProComp. It's basically exactly the same unit as the 9.5 we just saw, but with a built-in compressor. So that's used to pressurize this cup that we have remotely and not connected to directly underneath the gun like we had before. So we also get the standard cup as well, should you want to switch between the two. So the addition of the remote cup gives us a lot of benefits and a lot of flexibility if it suits the type of work you're going to be doing. We now have a lot of flexibility with the remote cup, so we can physically get into smaller gaps because we haven't got the cup underneath. The gun is also a lot lighter without a litre of product attached to it. And our remote cup holds 2 litres of product rather than 1 litre. The ProComp is great if it suits the type of work you're going to do and if it's going to benefit you having the remote cup, but it is worth mentioning it's only available in 240 volt, so can't be used on sites, so take that into account before ordering. I also want to tell you a little bit more about the Edge 2 guns, as they're a really clever bit of kit and unlike your normal conventional HVLP guns. So as I've said, we've got the 2 models, which is the Edge 2 and the Edge 2 Plus. The main difference between the two is the controls on the back. So on the standard gun, we've got the air and fluid control that is on one knob at a predetermined ratio that can't be adjusted. Whereas on the Plus gun, we have 2 separate controls, one here for fluid control and one for fan, so we can really dial it in and adjust it to however you want it. The main feature that differentiates these guns between others is the flex liner system. So this is the same on both guns and consists of the hard plastic outer cup with an air line going into the side of it. And then we've got a flexible liner that goes inside that we pour our product into. The air line then pushes air in between the cup and the liner and squeezes the product into our gun. This is great because it now means we can spray upside down, side to side, whatever you want. And it also means that the air can't backtrack up the airline and block any check valves like on the older HVLP systems. The air cap is also a great feature, which I mentioned earlier, so you can quickly swap between vertical, horizontal and a spot spray pattern, so that gives you great control. And also with the Plus gun, you get a little adjustment here as well, so you can loosen and tighten the air cap, so you're not actually loosening it, but you're just adjusting that retaining ring, and that's giving you a little bit more control over your sort of end fan pattern. If you want to swap out your needle and nozzle for a different size, this has also been really well thought out, so really easy to do. So we take our air cap off, pull our trigger back, loosen this nozzle here, take that off, slide this pin across on our trigger to allow the trigger to drop down, pull our needle out, swap it over for our other size, and then reverse procedure to get it all back in. So slide that back across, pull your trigger, pull the needle back, nozzle back in. Only needs to be hand tight, and then air cap back on the front. So really easy to do, really well thought out. I do have a couple of tips with these HVLP units, or just HVLP units in general. If possible, get the unit outside the rib you're spraying in, or just as far away as possible if you can't. Reason for that is, if you're spraying right next to it, these units work by sucking in a huge volume of air, and if you're spraying right next to it, it's going to be sucking in all your overspray, which isn't going to do your filters any good or the turbine itself. Next up, I would say buy your liners in packs of 25 rather than packs of 3. It works out nearly half the price per liner. I would also say reuse them as little as possible, because the cup actually uses the liner, the edge of it there, to seal. And if it's been cleaned out 10 times between jobs, you may find it hard to pressurize the cup. Lastly, keep the threads on the inside of this retaining ring as clean as possible for the exact same reason. If it's full up of paint, you're going to find it hard to seal the cup, and therefore it's not going to pressurize. Well, I hope this video has been useful, and I'll put a link in the description below to all the products we've talked about, so if you want to find out any more about them, you can check them out there. If you found the video helpful, then please hit the thumbs up icon, and if you want to get access to exclusive offers and content, please subscribe to the channel. Also, if you could hit the notification bell, so that way you get a notification when we upload a new video. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them down in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.